gonna try to turn off.
You're going to do what? How about Mr. Nichols? Don't see any sign of Mr. Nichols. Mr. Painter. Do not hear from Mr. Painter. Jeff Parnes. Mr. Parnes, are you there? Mr. Strafer. Anybody hearing from Mr. Strafer? I show only 5 members present so far. Anybody have any different record?
No, that's correct.
Now, at the top of my screen, somebody may know what this means. It says transcription has stopped. You're now only recording this meeting. I don't know what that means.
It's fine.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman, there's still quite an echo. It's kind of hard to hear. I'm wondering if everybody's muted. Maybe we can make sure everybody's muted.
Okay, let me see. All right, I'm going to mute mine. I think mine is the problem again. I muted my microphone, but now nobody can hear me. Probably a good idea.
I guess what we'll do is whoever is not speaking should remain muted until they need to speak.
Oh, if you're not speaking, mute, right?
Yes.
All right, I still only have 5.
Jay, Dashi just sent a chat that we should all look at. It looks like the number ends in 8187 was contributing to the feedback. Does somebody have a phone and a PC or mobile device on? So if somebody has both a mobile phone on and a PC on, that might be the explanation.
All right, I turned my phone off.
Hey, Gene, will you close the window on that computer? Of that whole thing on it. That could have been me. Can you hear me, Stanley?
Say it again.
That could have been me with the computer thing. My wife's turning off or closing the screen that with the feedback business.
I see 21, 54, 56, 57, 58. That must be the recording.
So we are lacking one more member. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Can you hear me now? This is Hugh.
Yes, Hugh.
Okay, I'm going to turn off my tablet, and I'll just be hearing you on the
Okay.
phone.
That's good, Hugh. I'm going to call again for Mr. Nichols. Mr. Painter. Mr. Parnes. And Mr. Strafer. Need one of those.
Yes, this is Eric Cox again. I'm surprised those guys are all the high-tech guys, especially like Jeff Parnes. I would think they would be here.
Tony, did they accept the invitation?
Yes, Daniel did. Mr. Drainsville declined.
Who declined?
Drainsville,
Oh, supervisor from Drainsville?
yes. And then Willie's Benjamin, no response.
Mr. Gorney, I assume that you have the schedule for when these matters have to be presented to the Board of Supervisors in time to qualify for the recommendation, which I assume we're going to be making. What is that time frame?
Yeah, this is Joe Gorney from DPD. I'll have to defer to Tony on that one. I'm not quite sure what this, excuse me, what the schedule is. My understanding is that if you folks have 6 members, then you have a quorum and you can proceed tonight, but I think you're still waiting on the one. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay, yeah. Tony, do you know what the schedule is moving forward for the Board of Supervisors?
Yes, I could look that up real quick.
Right. I guess the question would be whether or not there's an opportunity to have another meeting prior to that. Obviously, we don't want to slip the board meetings since that does take a fair amount of time and coordination to schedule, and trying to get another date might be challenging.
And we've got an October meeting already. I think with as much time as we have spent on these 2 applications and as much paper, which is over an inch thick for me, we should be able to get through these renewals in fairly short order if it turns out we have to do that. Now, Tony, do you or anyone else have, let's see, Jeff Parnes' phone number?
I believe I should have the number somewhere. Let me look for it.
Well, if somebody could call him and remind him we have this meeting, he usually is 10 to 15 minutes behind. It's a badge of honor for him.
but first of all, the PC hearing date is supposed to be 10/20 for Castro and Sanders. The Board of Supervisors is 11/23.
November 22?
November 23 is for the Board of Supervisor hearing.
Oh, well, then that's plenty of time. And I think if we could put it into October or November, if we have to, we may do that.
From what Kelly was saying, I think we can't push it more than 1 week.
Yeah.
Because we'll not be able to make it after 1 week. They will have to change the dates for the PC and Board of Supervisor.
Oh, you have to do PC first, right?
Yes.
So you said the planning commission was October 24th, Tony?
The planning commission is October 20th.
20th.
Yes.
And what's our October schedule? Next meeting?
It will be October 14th.
No, that's time.
Tony, excuse me, but I have a letter saying that the planning commission is October 27th.
Oh,
and
okay.
that
Oh,
the
okay.
supervisors is November 9th.
Okay, yeah, that was changed. We had to change it because of this move. We haven't reflected it on our plus system. So I was looking at that. Thank you for that. But from what Kelly said, we can't move it. Let me look for the number and see if I can give the person a call.
I've got Jeff Parnes' email, and I'm sending him a message now.
Okay.
That was sent. All right, I sent an email to Andrew Painter as well, so.
Yeah, thanks, Stanley, because if we could do this today, that sure would be great.
Yeah.
but having said all that, maybe we should get an idea if the five of us plus we can find a couple more to meet early next week, Monday, Tuesday. Would that work?
If somebody can do it.
I mean, we can find out if the five of us that are on could do it, and maybe we can or we can't. But if we can, and then we just have to, pull out the knives or whatever and get a couple more people on. It shouldn't be a problem, I would think, if they realize that this is the third time, or would be the third time.
Well, this
I could
is,
do Monday or Tuesday.
Excuse me, say it.
Franklin can do Monday or Tuesday.
Yeah, for Cox, it's Tuesday's better, but yeah, as much I can't do Monday really. Tuesday would be great.
Mr. Chairman, Jay Doshi, Tuesday just happens to be the day when about 1 million vehicles are due for the tax payment. Reminder to all of my friends on this call. But again,
This is you.
I know how hard it's been, so I'm happy to join in.
This is you. Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
I could do Wednesday, but it would have to be after 3. No, on Tuesday I could do it. I could do it on Tuesday after 3 o'clock.
The meetings are usually at 4, so it should be fine.
Okay, I could do it at 4 on Tuesday, October 15th, October 5, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Anybody else Tuesday work for? That's Stanley and Hugh and Eric Cox. That's 3. And Jay?
I can
Yes.
do it.
Gifford?
Hey, everybody. I am so sorry that I'm late. I had this planned to be here on time, and then I completely forgot about it, and the Outlook thing did not pop up. So I'm here, and I apologize.
Wonderful.
Bingo.
Yeah, sorry.
That's okay.
I hate being late. So
All right. Well, can I confirm that we now have 6 as a quorum?
I would make that motion if I knew how, but yeah.
All right. Motion is made and seconded. Do we have a second?
Seconded.
All in favor of concluding that we have a quorum, please say aye.
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 Now, a couple of technical matters that we have done in the last 2 meetings. Going to try to make it very brief. We need to determine that everyone's voice has been heard, that the nature of the emergency that compels emergency procedures, the fact we're meeting electronically, and we've arranged for public access. Now, I move that the state of emergency, which brings us to this point, is the COVID-19 pandemic, makes it unsafe for AVDAC to physically assemble, unsafe for the public to physically attend any such meeting. FOIA's usual procedures have been cannot be implemented safely or practically. And I further move that AVDAC may conduct this meeting electronically through Microsoft Teams with the detail of the phone check-in and access code, which is included in your documentation. And the next thing we need to do is to dispense with FOIA's usual procedures to assure continuity in government, that all matters addressed on today's agenda are statutorily required or necessary to continue the operation of this committee. Those two items, I ask for a motion to approve.
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
All in
Second.
favor? Moved and second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Finally, we have to make reference to public comment. We're not going to go through a lot of drill about how much time anybody has who, as a member of the public who wants to comment. I would say that 5 minutes ought to be enough to make a comment to support a motion for approval with all the staff work that has gone in. I now ask you to turn to your agenda for the meeting. We have already attended to the announcements. The old business, who wants to make reference to the old minutes from July 27th? We have those minutes in the package. Do I hear any comments or objections to the minutes? Hearing none, I move they be approved.
Second.
Favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed? Ayes have it. All right, informational items. Somebody want to speak up?
Yes, I'll take that. Hi, everyone. My name is Tony, a senior planner with the planning division. So we have two applications. We have renewal. We have a renewal application accepted for Potomac Vegetable Farm, and the tentative AVDAC hearing date will be November 18th, and the PC hearing date tentatively is January 12th, and Board of Supervisors for January 25th. We do have one case that one renewal case that we haven't received is about to expire at the end of 2021, and that will be Nippling. We wrote him 2 letters already to remind him, but we haven't heard from him, so it probably will just expire at the end of the year. That's all the informational items that we have.
All right, new business.
So new business, we have 2 cases today that I need to present to the board. So I'll just set it up.
Please do.
We're going to go with the Castro's application first.
Are we supposed to be saying something?
They're supposed to ask me questions.
Oh,
I reckon. Why don't you just say something? No, Pastor.
No, you don't need to say anything right now. You guys, everybody can see the screen?
Yep.
Okay. All right, thank you. Mr. Chairman, my name is Tony Obuekwe from Department of Planning and Development. I'm here to present a PowerPoint presentation for this case. That's Castro Local Agricultural and Forestry District, AR 96S 00203. This application requests a renewal of the Castro Local Agricultural and Forestry District for an additional 8-year term. The 118.25 acre property is located at 11720 and 11800 Chapel Road in the Springfield district. 2 other A&F districts are nearby. The property is zoned residential conservation district and is planned for residential uses at a density of 0.1 to 0.2 dwelling per acre and private open space. The primary residence is centrally located on the parcel. An older guest cottage exists just to the north of the primary residence. A barn and a machinery shed is located northwest of the guest cottage. The southern half of the property is a fenced meadow and pasture land. The side terrain is rolling, dropping steeply in portions of the rear of the property, which is thickly wooded. The two spring-fed ponds exist within the front meadow portion of the property. Recent improvements to the property include replacement of fencing. The subject property is located within Pope's Head Creek watershed. A small portion of the Wolf Run watershed, as well as within the Occoquan Reservoir watershed and Water Supply Protection Overlay District. Approximately 18.29 acres of resource protection area is located on this property. Other encumbrances on this project, on this site, are 5.656 acre of major floodplain and 35.11 acres of environmental quality corridor (EQCs). A soil and water quality conservation plan was prepared by the Northern Virginia Soil and Water Conservation District and signed September 9th, 2021. A site assessment found that 59 acres are kept in pasture to support the grazing of 13 cows. At site assessment, there were no cows or signs of cow on the property. The applicant explained that during hot days, the cows go into the woods for shade. Generally, the report noted that manure was not a concern due to the limited number of cows grazing 59 acres and prescribed grading is not practiced. However, due to the presence of cows on site, the critical recommendation of the SWQCP includes implementing a nutrient management plan based on the soil analysis. Another critical recommendation for the RPA is not to allow manure to be stacked or stored on the property. Maintenance of existing vegetative buffers through improved forest management practices and minimization of pesticides and fertilizers. Invasive species management across the forest stands should be completed as needed and around the property. Lastly, a critical recommendation is to implement pest management to control agricultural pest implementations. The Virginia Department of Forestry, VDOF, visited the property on June 14, 2021. They made several recommendations to include reduce the size of the deer herd. Do not cut trees between June 1 and June 31st, so as not to disturb roosting bats. Manage power line cut to reduce risk of trees or branches falling on the line and igniting a fire. Maintain the cattle fence. Remove invasives as resources allowed. Staff finds that the proposed district renewal satisfies all Group A criteria of the A&F Code for Group for group of the criteria of Group B criteria and meets the minimum district acreage and all the requirements of the code. Should it be renewed, it will be expected to meet all other ordinance provisions. Staff recommends approval of the renewal application, subject to proposed ordinance provisions. I will be happy to answer any questions. Thank you.
Anyone present representing Crastro?
Tell them who you are.
This is Frank Castro. I'm with my mother, Nyla Castro.
Lovely property you have.
Thank you.
Giff Hampshire, you're from down in that part of the woods. Any comment?
Well, I'll just say that hello, Mrs. Castro. I don't know whether you remember me, but Felix and I were in high school together and went to college at Hampton, Sydney. And of course, I'm your neighbor, and I've known this property all my life. And I can tell you that you've, and I can tell the group that it's been very well maintained and preserved over the years. And it's a real treasure for the Springfield district to preserve, and I am supportive of the renewal.
Wonderful. Anyone else have any comments?
Thank you.
Do I hear a motion to approve staff recommendation?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Wonderful.
Aye.
That's approved. Lovely property. Now, Tony, let's go to the Sanders local. We have all had an opportunity to read the materials which you have sent or which have been sent to us, including the reports that you mentioned. And there is no point in your reading that all over again unless you have some change that you would like to make. And as far as I'm concerned, for the Sanders district, which we've read, you can go right to the staff recommendation unless committee members would like to hear the whole thing read over again.
Okay.
Hearing no request for that, Tony, go right ahead.
Okay. Well, staff recommends. So this is the AR 2005 SU 00202 Sanders Local Agricultural and Forestry District. Fast forward to the end. Oops, sorry. What's going on? Staff recommends approval of the renewal application subject to the proposed ordinance provisions. I will be very happy to answer any questions. Thank you.
Mr. Sanders, I know you're here. Do you care to make any comments?
You're muted, Mr. Sanders.
Only that I really would appreciate you all approving this and moving it on for another 8 years. It makes a difference for my family in terms of being able to keep it or not keep it. And it's really, I really do appreciate the fact that Fairfax County had this option available. I just wish I would have looked into it sooner.
Thank you, Mr. Sanders. Does anybody else have any comments? Hearing none, do I hear a motion to approve?
Yeah, I would.
Go ahead.
This is Hugh Newcomb. There's some things that they're supposed to be done in the first year. Can you hear me?
Yes.
There's some things that were recommended to be implemented in the first year of the district. And I'm wondering again, is there any way of knowing when they are done? It has to do with erosion, and it had to do with some fencing, and it had to do with finding a new source of water.
Mr.
Some of
Sanders,
the
do you understand the
Sanders.
question?
Maybe Willie can speak to that.
I sure can, and good afternoon, everyone. This is Willie Wood, Senior Conservation Specialist with the Northern Virginia Soil and Water Conservation District. I think I should first start with the water option, and that's just a common concern that Mr. Sanders has. Should the quarry facility should close down. Water from the quarry comes through a perennial flow that passes through Mr. Sanders's property, and that's one of his main sources of water. His question to me was whether that flow would continue as after the quarry has closed down, if it closes down. I did some research, but I couldn't really give any guarantee that even if it doesn't stop flowing, he would have enough water to meet his 60 or so horses. Therefore, I'm coming up with a recommendation that he considers possibility of installing some watering troughs that he may be able to get some degree of agricultural cost share practice with our district, which provides that state program to agricultural land users. So what I did was to give her two options, depending on how much water his current well is producing. So if you guys are looking at it, if you've seen the plan, there was one with a blue option, that's with existing well water. There's a lilac option, that's if the well doesn't produce as much water, he can probably has a new well installed with cost share to take the lilac route. So that is just a recommendation. It's not a must, it's a recommendation. The second thing that was mentioned has to do with the fencing. Again, a recommendation that he can enhance, if let's say the well, the water flow does not cease, it's still flowing enough to meet the needs of the horses. We have in agricultural practices something we call stream crossing protection, wherein it's like hardened access that would take you into and out of the creek, a legal structure that would do three key things. Number one, it would minimize erosion as farm vehicles and horses go through the creek. It will still provide watering source for the horses. And then number three, it will be able to create fair and safe access for animals. It will minimize erosion while all those things are going on. Whenever those stream crossings are installed, there is need to have a stream protection fence. So you would actually force the horses to simply use the one main reinforced access that takes them through the horses. So that's a fencing option, which again is a recommendation, which if Mr. Sanders is interested, I'll be more than happy to provide more information to him in terms of cost share or him doing it himself.
Any further questions?
Thank you, Willie.
You're very welcome.
Do I hear a motion to approve staff recommendation?
I
So
move that we,
Sorry, you take it.
Motion and second. All in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed say no. Thank you. The item about annual reports for 2018 to 2020, I recommend that we defer that until the October meeting. Likewise, the bylaws for AFDAC will be discussed in October and will not be voted on today. Likewise, the policy for participation in meetings by electronic communication will be voted on in October. Do I hear any public comment? Hearing none, do I hear a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed?
Aye.
We are adjourned. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. My apologies to everybody again for logging on late.
No problem, Anna. It's okay.
All right.
Thank you all.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thanks.
Bye, everybody.
Goodbye, everyone.
Bye-bye.